All right, guys. Hey, welcome back. Another edition of the Regular Guys DFS show. It's time, fellas. It's time, ladies and gentlemen. It is week one of the NFL season. It is here. I am jacked up and can't wait to get started playing this season and putting some content out to you guys to hopefully for all of us to start making some money here playing daily fantasy NFL football. Before we get to this week's pick six, a couple of things. First of all, if you would go ahead and hit the like button on this video, I'd sure appreciate it. I'd appreciate it probably even more if you'd hit the subscribe button and click that little notification bell. That way you get notified every time we put out new content, and there's a lot of it coming here, guys, now that we are in full swing of football. So if you're enjoying the channel, please subscribe. It helps out a bunch, and we're here to make somebody some money, all of us, and let's see if we can get that done. We had a really good season NFL last year. Took down two different $10,000 contests, as well as some other wins along the way. But I thought that was pretty good. And, there's no guarantees we're going to repeat that, but we're going to give it a hell of a shot, man. We're going to go for it. The other thing is, make sure you're following me on Twitter at SandoDFS, because that way you can follow along with the content we're going to be putting out. And we've got some contests coming up that you guys can enter to win some free plays, like over at Prize Picks. We've got our college football fantasy coming up. We've got our Prize Picks plays basically for the whole weekend. We'll have 2 or 3 different videos. And speaking of Prize Picks, who does sponsor this program, if you're not signed up yet, guys, please make sure you sign up using our code REGULAR or click this banner that you see right here on the video, and it'll take you right to the link. It's important because we're starting a contest this weekend where if you sign up using our code and you take a screenshot of you signing up at Prize Picks, and then you're going to be sending me, some of your winning plays, or some of your winning entries, ones that make you money. I'm going to go ahead and sponsor a $50 play for free on Prize Picks. So if you haven't signed up yet, please make sure you sign up using our code. You're going to be eligible for contests all year, including this first one we have coming up. That's going to be for a $50 free Prize Picks play. So, having said all that, let me grab my notes. We've been grinding all week. Let's get into week one of the NFL. Okay, a couple of things I'll let you guys know. Just basic strategies that I found out worked pretty good for playing DFS. Maybe you're new to playing fantasy football, and hey, that's why I'm making these videos, is for guys like you that don't have hours and hours to spend, but still want to play and still want to make money, okay? That's the whole goal here. That's the name of this game, is let's make money. Generally speaking, rule number one, I do not spend up at quarterback very often. It's a passing league, guys. You can get good value at quarterback most of the time, most weeks, unless there's just some real obvious play. Generally speaking, I try to spend up in other positions. Defense, I don't pay a heck of a lot of attention to unless, you see matchups that are, again, just something that stands out to you. But every week, any defense, can get a couple of picks and maybe a pick six and maybe hold somebody to, 3 points, 6 points. You just never know in the NFL. Week to week, it's so crazy. So those are the two positions that I try to save my money at so I can spend up in other places. And then the other rule that I follow is get different without getting cute. You see if you're entering these DraftKings or if you play on YAHOO, FanDuel, you see how many people are entering these tournaments. We're playing against thousands of people here, guys. And generally speaking, in tournaments, I don't play cash games, so maybe it's a little different for cash games. I only play tournaments. And one of the keys, just like the NBA that we talked about, if you follow the channel during the NBA, is you got to get a little bit different than everybody else without getting too cute. You can outthink yourself trying to get different too. Sometimes the chalk is just the chalk. You play it, you eat it, and you go on and maybe try and find a difference somewhere else. So the lineup I'm going to give you today, today's pick 6 that we're going to build, and I think I'm going to actually throw in a couple of bonus plays here like I usually do, is kind of a different lineup, but it's one that's effective, or could be effective if everything goes right. And really, that's what it is every week, playing DFS. You can make the best plays in the world, but if the guys don't perform the way you expect them to, the way they're projected to, that's why I don't use projections that much, it's just not going to work out in your favor. So I'm the kind of guy that is willing to take some risks, as you've seen. If you followed me during NBA DFS, I'm willing sometimes to take some risks that maybe don't pay off, but when they do, it can be high reward. So, having said all that, if you have any questions about, if you're new to playing DFS completely, if you have any strategy questions, if you if you're building your lineup and you go, hey, God, I need somebody's opinion here. Hit me up on Twitter at Sando DFS. Sando DFS. You can DM me, you can just at me, whatever you want to do. Just keep in mind, I'm relatively new to Twitter within the last year and a half, so I'm still trying to figure out how in the frick the damn thing works sometime. But anyway, I digress. Okay, so let's get into today's pick 6. Quarterback. Don't laugh. I think it's going to be a decent play. It can be a decent play. I'm going to play Jalen Hurts as my quarterback. Here's why. I'm not going to make a living this year, I don't think, playing Jalen Hurts as my quarterback. But it's week 1. Okay? Jalen Hurts, in a way, is kind of fighting for a job, I think, because I keep hearing all these Deshaun Watson rumors. Now, I don't know if any of them are true, if Miami's really willing, Philadelphia or Miami are really willing to pull the trigger on Deshaun Watson. But anyway, Jalen Hurts has a lot to play for, and he has a good chance here against Atlanta. Last year, Atlanta's defense, I think, was overall the 3rd worst defense in the league, and they gave up the most points versus opposing quarterbacks. So those are a couple stats that I think are important. So Jalen Hurts' last couple games last year wasn't too bad. There was that debacle when they pulled him out of the game against Dallas or something when they were trying to lose to get a better draft pick. So you can't really look at that game. But anyway, I'm going to put Jalen Hurts as my quarterback in this pick 6. Now, I'm going to stay by a couple of steadfast rules when I play a certain quarterback. I'm going to have at least 2 of his weapons at all times, no matter who my quarterback is. I looked at some research, some stats, last year's Millie Maker tournaments that, the big guns, the pros play in. Almost a vast majority of those entries, their quarterback had 2 wide receivers or 2 targets minimum in the lineup, and there was usually a wide receiver from the team that they were playing as a run back. So, for example, I can't fit it into this one, I don't think, but I'm going to play a couple of Jalen Hurts' targets, a couple of his players, and then we would maybe try and get Calvin Ridley in. There's no Julio Jones in Atlanta now, so maybe we try and get Calvin Ridley in to run it back on the other side. Because Philadelphia doesn't have a very good defense either. And Matt Ryan, at home, in the Dome, should be able to probably carve them up too. So you could actually play this lineup either way. If you decide you want to play a Matt Ryan at quarterback instead of a Jalen Hurts, I mean, that would make sense too. But I think Jalen's going to be a little less popular. So, having said that, a guy, and it's weird that I'm starting the year like this because this is a guy I played some futures bets on, and I'm just going to type it in, guys, instead of. I like Sanders this year. I think he could have a really big year for Philly because, quite frankly, he's like one of their only really solid, dependable targets. Now, I guess there's a rookie or something in camp that was pushing him a little bit. Miles Sanders is going to get the start, and I've already played him over on Prize Picks for his season total in rushing yards. I don't remember exactly what it was. It's somewhere around 1,000. I think he's going to have 1,000 yards receiving or rushing, and he also catches the ball out of the backfield. So I think he'll be a nice safety net for Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is going to run, which is good if you're playing him as a quarterback. But he's also, sometimes going to have to take some check downs and things like that. So I like Miles Sanders in one of my running back positions. The second running back position, okay, Alvin Kamara is going to be a very, very popular player this weekend, and he's on paper a great play. But remember, that game got moved out of the Dome in New Orleans to Jacksonville. And it's supposed to be really, really hot in Jacksonville. I don't know if that'll affect his touches or not. I just know he's going to be very, very high owned. And we've got a new quarterback in Jameis Winston. I just don't really know what to expect out of New Orleans. So I'm leaving Kamara out of this particular build. The second running back I'm going to play here is... Oh, we got to get over here. I see once you type it in, then it... All right, let's get down here to... God, I hate this. There it is. Joe Mixon. They're going to rely heavily on the running game in Cincinnati, I would think, as Joe Burrow continues to get more comfortable off that knee injury. And Joe Mixon also catches out of the backfield. Minnesota's defense sucked last year. They were terrible. I'm hearing all the preseason stuff. Oh, they're much better, and they've got these new free agents, and they spent their whole draft on defense. Okay, they're still rookies. A lot of them, they still got to put it all together. So I'll believe that Minnesota's defense is back when I see it. I think week 1 could be a good week to catch them. So I'm saving a little bit of money, and we're going to play Joe Mixon in the other running back position. Now, let's go to wide receiver. And we'll just click up here. Philadelphia. I am going to play at 3,700. I'm going to play Jalen Reagor. I love this play. I think Jalen Reagor is going to have a significant year. They don't have hardly any weapons in Philadelphia that scare you. In fact, I think Philadelphia's probably picked to finish last in the division. But again, it's the first game. They get a game against Atlanta. I like the matchup. So the receiver I'm going to choose is Reagor from Philadelphia. Let's see. My tight end. I'm going to spend up a little bit here. I can't get Kelsey in, but I can get George Kittle in. George Kittle at Detroit, healthy. I think San Francisco is probably going to win this game pretty big. My only concern with playing Kittle is it could be a blowout in the second half, but we all know how the NFL works, guys. No one's going to be totally stunned if Detroit keeps this close or wins the game on a last-second field goal, especially in week 1 of the NFL. You just don't know what's going to happen. So George Kittle, I think, is a really, really good play. Back finally fully healthy. Garoppolo, as you saw last year before he got hurt, loves throwing to this guy. In the red zone, out of the red zone, he's his favorite target without question. So at 6,300, I feel like I'm getting a pretty good bargain on George Kittle. Now let's see. Who's more our flex play. Okay, so this will round out our pick 6. I am going to spend up somewhere, and I love Dalvin Cook against Cincinnati's defense. I think Dalvin Cook could have a huge year this year. He certainly could have a huge game against Cincinnati. We all know about Mike Zimmer. I don't think he trusts Kirk Cousins necessarily. Kirk Cousins doesn't have a hell of a lot of weapons to throw to. So you're going to get a big dose of Dalvin Cook. And Cincinnati, I know supposedly they've improved their defense. It was terrible last year. I think it might have been dead last in the league. I'd have to look it back up. But I think Dalvin Cook's going to have a big game. So there's our pick six. Jalen Hurts, then Miles Sanders and Jalen Reagor running it back with Hurts. If you want to play another Philly receiver, go right ahead. It's a smart strategy if you look back at the Millie Maker winners and the guys that finished high in those type of tournaments last year on DraftKings. Again, they had at least 2 receivers, sometimes up to 3 and 4 weapons from the same team. I am going to give you just a couple of little quick bonus plays. A guy that you can get at damn near minimum salary, I think, at wide receiver. Let's just type him in because I don't feel like scrolling down. Marquez Callaway, 3,400 from New Orleans. Remember, no Michael Thomas. That's going to benefit Callaway huge, and I think he can be a big play guy as long as Jameis throws it to him and not the other team. So he's a guy that you could look to at your other wide receiver position. And defensively, and they're not even the highest ranked defense this week, but really, when I looked through this, I love Denver's defense against the Giants. I mean, Danny Dimes up there, I mean, he's a turnover machine, or he has been. Maybe with Saquon Barkley back, it won't be as bad, but I could see Denver getting a pick or two against Danny, so I'm not sold on him as a quarterback at all. The Giants have the absolute worst offensive line possibly that I've ever seen in my life. So they will get plenty of pressure. There will be plenty of opportunities for sacks. So, I mean, I can just put it in right now because I can tell you I usually play 3 lineups, and in a couple of them at least, I'm going to play Denver's defense because I don't think New York will have any answer for them. So that's the pick 6 for this week, guys. Again, before we get out of here, please hit the like button. More importantly, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. Follow me on Twitter at SandoDFS. We have a lot of content coming out here in the next few days, guys, and of course, the following weeks. We've got our picks and parlays segments where, again, we went 5-1 against the spread in our college picks last Saturday. Didn't do as great on Prize Picks, but we had been hot on Prize Picks. We're going to bounce back from that. And then we have our DFS plays for college football as well as our Sunday games for the NFL. So lots coming, guys. Make sure you drop that follow on Twitter. And again, subscribe to the video. Good luck to all of us. Thank you so much for joining me. I am so stoked for this year. I hope you guys will continue to tune in. And as always, I hope the whole goal is that we all make some good money. I will talk to you guys very soon in our next video. Thanks again for watching.